Hello everyone, it's Penny from Four Eyes Designs. Today I have a little mini haul for you, and then I'm going to do a card process from start to finish video for you as well after I show you these new items. So this is a company I had not heard from before. It's called The Ton, and it is a United States manufactured stamp and die company. They do, I think they've got other things as well besides stamps and dies. I had heard about this company through one of the bloggers that I follow. Her name is Melania, and I'll list her blog down below. She was a guest designer for The Ton, and that is how I was led here. I just was taken by these stamps. I've never seen anything like this before. And also excited to see that there are other companies that do the multi-layer stamping because that's so fun. I saw some of these in examples and they looked so realistic, so I'm excited to give them a try. And also these were quite reasonably priced. I think it was, one was 13 and one was 16. I don't remember which was which, but the dies, matching dies, and then the bows. So let's go ahead and get making a project. So I'm going to go ahead and do some test stamping, and this will allow me to prime the stamp before it goes on my actual cardstock, and also learn how to line these up correctly. I've done a few tests that have not worked out well, and so I'm going to try it again. This is Simon Says Stamp Pale Blush Pink ink. And then I'm taking Stampin' Up! Close to Coral. And I'm going to go ahead and try to line this up first before I start inking it. Yeah. So I'm going to put it like this. And I'm going to use the Close to Coral. Cameo Coral, excuse me. Oh, I see, I didn't get it quite lined up. I'm going to have to practice on this a couple more times, and then when I get it right, we'll go ahead and move on to the actual cardstock. Okay, now I've got with me the Papertrey ink cardstock in Sweet Blush, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp the Simon Says Stamp ink first, the base layer. I'm going to try to stamp that again. Well, that's a little smoother. And then we're going to take the Coral Stampin' Up! Ink. What I found helpful here is to line up the package with the way that I stamped it, which for this particular bow is like this. And that means that I have to have my stamp matching that. And that's much easier to do then. So it's like this. And then I also refer back to the fully stamped image to see that it is correct. I'm going to try a different base instead of the Simon Says stamp here. See how that works, because I think if the colors are closer together it's going to look better. Okay, so I've grabbed Rose Romance from Stampin' Up. Now I think I'm going to have to switch it where the base layer is the coral and the highlight is Rose Romance. So I'm going to go ahead and start the coral first. I have to say I don't really think that stamping this is as complicated as it appears for me. I think I just have a really hard time seeing how it lines up. And I also think that practice is important as well. So I don't think what you see me doing here is necessarily the way you'd experience doing this. That's pretty close. I'm going to try it again. I see right here where I could get the lines a little bit closer here. So let's try it one more time. I'm getting better. I wonder if I stamp step 2 first, if that would be helpful for me. So I'm going to try that. Why not? There's no reason it wouldn't work as well. I just can't be traditional about it. I have to do it the way that works for me. That is pretty perfect. I think it might look even better if the colors matched even closer, but I'm going to go ahead with this for now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the dies, break them apart, and I'm going to die cut this one, and then we'll move on with the card. Alright, I have my card panels cut out. This is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I'm going to be matting it onto a standard A2 size note card shortly. In the meantime, I am going to give this background a subtle pattern, and I'm going to use this Papertrey ink stamp set. This is called Ruby Reprise. This is from December 2013 exclusives. That was a free stamp, so it's no longer available. And I'm going to use my Versamark here. I'll use these smaller flowers because I don't want a pattern that's too big. I don't want it competing with the bow. And this will give the paper just a very subtle tone-on-tone look. And this is Detail Clear by Rubber Dub Dub. This is also very old. Of course, this stuff lasts a long time. You only need a little bit at a time, so Go ahead and heat emboss this. Alright, I'm going to do the same with the smaller flower now. And lastly, there's a mini flower in here I'm going to use. Okay, now that our panel is embossed, what I had done is taken a piece of the pink blush cardstock that we used for the bow, and then I just inked it up with my Cameo Coral, which is the same color ink as this right here, and eventually it will be that same color. And what I'm going to do is just cut out what would be a fake ribbon from... Okay, we're going to attach this to our panel. About right there. And then I'm going to take the bow and I'll cut out a piece of foam for that. Alright, I used the one that's one step smaller because I know they spread out a little bit when you run them through the die cut machine. So I'm going to put some adhesive on here. And I'm going to put my bow down. And I'm going to put something heavy on it. And while that is drying, we'll go ahead and work on this for a moment. I'm going to cut off the excess. And it looks like there's a tiny, tiny bit up here that I did not get ink on, so I'm going to try to do that here. I'm going to mask this off, and I'm just going to use the ink pad. And I'm going to touch up this one down here as well. Okay, we're going to move on to the cardstock base. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out from the Sweet Blush, and I'll be right back. Okay, I actually decided to go with Berry Sorbet because I thought the other one might be too matchy. Too much of the same color there. Go ahead and adhere the panel down. And remember that this ink color used on the ribbon here is going to be lightening up, so it'll actually be the same color as this one here once it's all dry. I'm going to go ahead and put the bow on. Okay, the card has had a chance to dry, so now I'm going to take this label die cut and cut it from both this dark gray and this vellum piece. We're going to make a little tag. Alright, I went ahead and got those cut out, and now I'm going to use this stamp set from Echo Park. It's just called the Sentiment Stamp Set, and I'm going to use the Happy Birthday stamp. And we're going to put it on the vellum here. It's a little bit hard to see. And I'm just going to stamp it in black. This is Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I'm not sure how well this is going to stamp on vellum, so we'll see. Okay, that looks decent. And I'm going to be using I cut out the dark gray outline for this piece, which is right here. So we're going to be using these together on this card. Okay, I found a soft pink brad, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. I'll get my hole in there first. I'm using my tonic poker tool here. And then you can hear it right under here. And I'm going to use a little glue dot for that. And the frame. I'll use my multi-medium for that. I got that on there, and now I just can't help but add a few sequins. And I'm going to adhere these with some multi-medium in the matte finish. And I'm going to find a couple of clear ones to add as well. There's one other thing I wanted to do on this card before we're finished, and that is to add some twine. This is a black sparkle, and I'm going to twist it around the brad. I'm going to try tying it into a bow, a little bow. And I'm going to cut these tails. Cut this a little bit shorter. Okay, and now here is my finished card. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a good one.